I have struggled with depression for about 3 or 4 years now.
I have struggled with anxiety and depression.
Anxiety,
depression, and suicidal thoughts.
Seasons of depression and suicidal thoughts.
I've struggled with anxiety, depression, PTSD, and suicidal thoughts.
When I think about explaining anxiety to someone, I think about how there have been several times where I'm in a room of my friends and they've done nothing to cause this, but for some reason I start to feel panicky. And I've convinced myself in that moment that I am the most annoying person that has ever existed, and they just want me to leave.
for myself, it starts off with a feeling of anxiety, of feeling edgy and not knowing why.
We call the type of anxiety that I deal with catastrophizing, which is something small could happen, and in my brain, it's the end of the actual world.
I will often feel very overwhelmed.
Overly sensitive, and I take things personal, deeply personal.
When you're in the midst of depression and down, the thing that you're feeling the most is just empty.
In those moments, I feel so incredibly alone.
Hopeless.
I'm starting to doubt why I'm here, that I will never find love or happiness or whatever.
I don't have any future, that I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. You actually start to believe and think that the world, that your family, your friends would actually be better off without you.
This isn't something I share often, but I did attempt suicide when I was 15, and I almost didn't make it.
Your brain wants to make a different choice, and you know certain things are true, and yet your emotions and your body are acting and feeling a different way. And so it feels very out of control, like you are stuck.
Stuck is the best word.
I can't make myself feel better.
You want to be at your commitments, you want to be at church, but you can't physically bring yourself to step outside of the house.
I went through a long time of hiding what I was feeling.
I don't talk about it because it's embarrassing. I assume that I'm the only one who struggles with it. I assume that other people are all fine and have their act together.
You almost feel like this is my thing. I have to just deal with it.
I'm ashamed as well of feeling these things, and if you say them out loud, I'm afraid of how they would react. It's a combination of the way I was raised and, being tough, and if you can't deal with your own feelings, then you're weak.
I feel like mental illness is portrayed as a weakness, that you're not strong enough, you're not good enough.
You don't want to worry people. I want to keep them out of that pain or that stress that I'm in.
They don't need another thing. And if I give them another thing, then they're gonna do with that. And they're gonna go, oh, Kat has all these problems. I have to listen to her again. And I would never see evidence of that in the people in my life that loved me and cared about me. But that's how I would tell myself they would react. And I would keep it a secret.
There are a lot of different things that have helped me.
I let friends into that pain and that struggle, because at that point then, it wasn't just me.
Surround myself with people that care.
Friends are really helpful when they've reached out, even when I couldn't respond. Sometimes people would text and I wouldn't answer, or we would make plans and then I would cancel. But even though I looked like a terrible friend in that moment, they have no idea how much it meant just to know that other people were thinking of me and knew I was there and cared that I was there.
I let others in, so now they started asking me questions. They started to watch.
If you broke your leg, you'd go to a doctor. And for me, my emotional legs were obliterated, and I needed to see a doctor.
Therapy has been huge.
It wasn't until I started going to therapy that someone actually explained to me what catastrophizing was, or what black and white thinking is, or what all these moments and things going in my head, how I wasn't alone in that.
Therapy has helped me take a step outside of myself, from victim mentality to survivor mentality.
I went to my doctor several years ago and am on medication and still take medication. That's been helpful.
We do have to look at how we're medicating ourselves. What is our lifestyle like? Are you getting out? Are you taking walks? Are you consuming media that's maybe having a harsh effect on you and making you dwell on things you shouldn't be dwelling on?
If I could say one thing to people that are struggling, I would say, you matter, so keep fighting.
You are not alone. And it's okay to not be okay.
There are so many other people that are out there dealing with the same thing, whether they talk about it or not.
If you're going through anything like this, you need to talk about it.
Let people into your pain.
Finding a safe person to talk to is essential.
You need somebody in your court who knows. And so find your person.
I do know what it feels like to ask for help and to be embraced with compassion and understanding and direction when I have none.